The so-called Conservative government has reaffirmed its plans to allow people to change their gender more easily. And as the news happens, a new report shows that most Tory voters and most of the voting British public don't agree with it. Last week in one of my daily columns at The Rebel, I talked about a new action plan that the government's bringing in to make LGBT lives easier. Whatever that means. It comes after they did a study of thousands of gay people across the UK. But following on from that report, Penny Mordaunt, the Minister for Women and Equality in the Conservative government, has reaffirmed her government's commitment to perform a consultation on the reform and change of the Gender Recognition Act 2004. She spoke to Pink News, which is a website that just reports on gay stuff, which has called me a homophobe multiple times. And she gave an interview and she outlined the current process where people change their gender and what she wants to see for the future. And she said, the current process doesn't work for people. It's overly bureaucratic and it's highly medicalized, with people making decisions about who you are who have never met you. There's also huge inconsistencies throughout the process. You have one identification document in one sex and another in another. It doesn't work, it needs to be radically improved, and that's why we're going to consult on that. Really, the outcome we're looking for is that people are supported through that process. It is a challenging enough thing to go through without the state and its bureaucracy adding to the people's stresses. We will reform that. So what she's saying here are two things. First off, she wants to take away the medical element, which means she's denying the fact that these people have some kind of body dysmorphia. They've got a mental condition that makes them feel like they are somebody that they're not. So she wants to take away the medical element of it and allow people to choose regardless of what the doctor might say. And secondly, she wants to take away the bureaucracy. So they're going to make it generally more easy for you to just go into some kind of office and just change your gender. That's what they want to do. That's their idea about making LGBT lives easier. And it's not a simple, nice thing that the government's doing. I mean, it's placating and bowing down to propaganda. Interestingly, though, a new poll that was commissioned by Pink News from YouGov has found that this isn't a popular policy at all. In fact, Pink News reported just 13% of Conservative voters agree with the government's proposed reforms to the Gender Recognition Act, according to a new poll. The new poll by YouGov for Pink News has found there's significant public opposition to the government's proposed review of how transgender people can legally change their gender. The research by YouGov for Pink News also revealed that only 18% of all voters agree with the government plans to let transgender people change their legal gender without a doctor's approval. Now, the British people make sensible decisions. I think the only exception to that is general elections, when people vote for parties that don't necessarily reflect their values, and that's a quirk of our electoral system. But actually, when it comes to direct democracy, when it comes to polls, the British people speak overwhelmingly good, honest sense. We won Brexit. The British people voted in majority to leave the European Union in the interest of Britain, and now these polls are showing that actually an overwhelmingly large majority disagree with bowing down to propaganda. And not only that, but the government's own voters, the voters of the Conservative Party, a tiny fraction of these people want the government to change these laws. Why can't the Conservative Party get to grips with the reality that the British public are sane? We voted for Brexit because we're sane. We voted for Brexit because we are concerned about a foreign dictatorship. And now the British public are telling the government in this new poll that they don't want a change to laws that allow people to change their genders. An overwhelming majority of the British public don't want any change to the Gender Recognition Act, and they don't want to make it easy and demedicalize the process so that anybody can change their gender willy-nilly. When a tiny minority of voters believe in something, it seems like the government, it seems like the Conservative Party just instantly bow down to it. And I have to question the sanity of our own government. It's almost as if the Tories are on a journey of self-destruction. Appealing to the far left doesn't work. UKIP learned that, and the Tories are learning it too. Appealing to the far left will never work. And this decision now to demedicalize the process of changing one's gender and placating and bowing down to far left propaganda that destroys any concept of gender, it's dangerous, it's silly, and it's insane.
If you want to see more from me and the rest of the Rebel team, be sure to download the brand new app from the Google Play Store and the Apple App Store.